Hello, welcome to How to Play Ticket to Ride Solo, a game for one player. Let's say you're all alone, you want to play Ticket to Ride, and you know about the phone app and the online app, but that's just not going to do it for you because you're a glutton for punishment and you really want to play the physical game. Well, good news, we can do that. We have our Ticket to Ride board. We're going to print out some cards and cut them up now. You could do what I did and just write them by hand, or you could print out the sheet. Now, I think a better idea is to print out the sheet, label it with the corresponding ranks of some card values, and then take a deck of cards like this one here and use it corresponding with that those ranks. Or even better yet, just go from, instead of 7 cards, just one of 6 actions, with one of those actions being the claim a route. Now, your opponent's name is Marvin. It could be any of those guys, but that's his name. His name is Marvin. Those action cards are going to tell Marvin what cards to pick up or what action to do. So one of those actions is going to be claiming a route. Now we're going to take 6 other cards and basically make that one of the 7 possibilities that Marvin can do. We'll go shuffle them up. This is why I say you might just want to go to one of 6 actions and use a D6. So Marvin can claim routes based on how many cards he has, as long as he has at least 3 cards, or excuse me, 1 card in a row, he can claim it. He's going to need 3 cards in a row to fill it up. So right now he can claim either 1 or 2 ticket routes if that claim a route card comes up, until he gets to 6 cards, or at least not 6 cards, but 16 cards showing. So that's going to be 1 card in the 6th column. He must then claim a route on his action instead of picking up an action card. So these action cards are just basically telling him to either pick up a green card, a red card, the first card, the third card. If a card's a locomotive, he has to pick it up. If the first slot's a locomotive, he has to pick up the first slot and the first slot only. It's an interesting way to play. Marvin doesn't really care what colors he gets. He's only caring what action cards he has. Now, Marvin is not going to get punished for any tickets that he does not complete. He's not going to have any points deducted from his score. He's also not going to worry about routes that you've covered, because he gets to use your routes. He's allowed to piggyback on your routes. So you have to be careful when building your routes not to build routes that Marvin can latch on to. And then the other thing too is that Marvin, and I might have read the thing wrong, but once he has the claim route, he will then show one of his tickets, and that's the route that you're trying to fill up for him. And he's always going to take the longest possible route that connects the 2 cities. He's going to take the longest within the shortest route. So let's say you have to go from New York to Los Angeles. You're going to figure out the shortest route that requires the least amount of trains, and then from there you're going to try to go for that route and always have Marvin take the longest connecting train route. So if he has a card in the 6th column, he's going to then claim he's going to make a claim at the start of his turn, and he can claim the longest possible. So now we have Boston to Miami, so he's going to take that 4 card route because that is the longest in the shortest route. Now the instructions said don't get too caught up on this. Just try to relax and have fun, because this is supposed to be a fun experience for you. But like I said, the iOS app, as far as playing Ticket to Ride solo, that's probably the best way, but this is an interesting way to play the physical game while having nobody else around. I kind of enjoyed it, though it does take quite a bit of time. And you just play Ticket to Ride like you normally would, other than Marvin having his interesting card deck and not worried about what colors he gets. And the fact of the matter that you will not get 10 bonus points for having the longest route. So you're not worried about the longest route. You're going to get 10 bonus points for having the most contracts completed. And this is where I think I might have messed up a rule somewhere along, as far as when Marvin claims a route. Does he keep working on the route that he's already shown, or does he reveal another ticket? And I think I'm supposed to reveal another ticket and then give him some more tickets on his next turn. Use that as a means of making an action. At that point, if his tickets are all revealed, he gets more tickets. Like I said, Marvin does not get punished for any tickets he does not use. He's allowed to use your routes if they touch a spot he's going to, and they're somehow connected in 2 ends that he touches. He's allowed to use them. So be very mindful of which routes you're building. They might be used by Marvin. He might win in that case. So I might have messed up those rules. This was my second attempt at trying this out. Very interesting concept, so do read the rules. Consider possibly home ruling, house ruling. The idea of just making it one of 6 actions and maybe use the single dice, because I found reshuffling these flimsy 3x5 cards that I had written on and cut up to be a very time-consuming task. And it'd probably be better just to have a deck of cards and label your sheet and use that modified deck to pick to just shuffle and randomly pick out 6 cards, and then just label those actions 1 through 6. Now, obviously, you wouldn't pick out 6; you'd pick out 5, plus your whatever you labeled your shuffle and your claim a route and reshuffle card. Excuse me. So yeah, whatever you claim your reshuffle and claim a route card. Take that out of the deck and then pick out 6 cards that correspond with that sheet that you printed up, and therefore you have Marvin's moves. Use a regular deck of cards, much easier to shuffle, much better than any flimsy thing you can make, and just have that sheet on you with the cards that are labeled, and then just roll the dice. So you'll have label those things 1 through 6 or 1 through 5, and then use 6 as maybe the claim the route action. And I think it'd probably be a much better way of doing this solo, and maybe I'll have to film how that works if I ever do try it. I don't know if I will or not. But that was the thing I did not like about this game, was having to reshuffle the homemade cards I'd made. There's only 7 of them, and how do you reshuffle 7 cards? It's kind of difficult. I think a single 1 through 6 action on a single dice would have been a ton better. Obviously, randomize the possibilities by making an 18-card deck. Take out the ace of spades or whatever you use to do the claim route reshuffle, and then just take out 5 cards and then write 1 through 5 on that sheet. Probably have it laminated so you can do this multiple times. And then every time it's Marvin's turn, you go ahead and roll the dice. I think it's a much better game, probably. So we'll probably try that, see if it works. If you try it before I do, go ahead and leave me a comment. This obviously is my first video into a commercial game. I really don't like doing games that cost money. I try to stick with stuff that was free, but I saw this and I said, you know, this would probably be an interesting thing to make a video on. This would probably be an interesting thing to cover because, you know, there's all kinds of different rule variants on Board Game Geek, and every once in a while I see some and I think, you know, I think I'd like to cover it. And this one I said, you know, most people have Ticket to Ride or can't have access to it, so if you haven't bought this simple rummy yet, I say go ahead and buy it. That's pretty much all it is. It's pretty much a card game. I think of the 6 card suit. How many cards the game has, don't remember. Don't have that information off the top of my head. That's pretty much all it is. It's a rummy that you also have a corresponding board that tells you what melds are possible, and then it gives you certain contracts and the tickets. So I had to jump ahead because I couldn't record the whole video. The game took that long. So we got to the end of the video. I ended up winning. Now remember, whoever has the most contracts completed gets the 10 bonus points, and Marvin does not get punished for any contracts he does not have completed. So if you like playing card games out in public, do consider coming to our subreddit Card Game Meetups, and do consider coming to our Discord channel where we talk about card games all day, every day. And do check out these other content creators. They make some wonderful content and present new games, commercial games, free games, roll and writes, dice games, all sorts of games. And if you are going to Branson, Missouri, I highly recommend the Branson Board Game Cafe. It's a wonderful experience. You ought to plan a whole entire day there. You can play some new games to you, play some games with other people that you've never met. So do like and subscribe, and I'll see you next video. And I want to thank today's musician, Robert Dimbley. Obviously, he has a lot of subscribers, but let's go ahead and give his channel a listen and do subscribe. If you made it this far, tell me what your thoughts on riding a freight train in the middle of winter with a good amount of clothing on are. What cities would you go to if you had to do that? And could you do that? See you next video.